remember it well. It was February 2019. I was at a trade show in Germany and I was with a friend and we were discussing risk and reward and how much of my business was tied up on Amazon, which is not my sandbox, and how much was on my own site, and how I was at a crossroads in my life. My wife was pregnant. We wanted to move house. I had other ideas for new brands and new ventures. And as much as I was enjoying my business, I knew that it needed more resources in terms of people. I could maybe continue with the freelancer thing, maybe build an office abroad or hire locally. But I'd become aware that the buying and selling of e-commerce businesses, I know a few people who'd done it, was starting to get a little bit more mainstream and was now being viewed as, a bit more legitimate than it had before. People used to think that online businesses weren't real businesses because they didn't have a roof and a door.
Yeah.
And so I got home from the event, and the next month I started to really take it seriously about trying to sell. And so 2019 was the year of preparing to sell. And then I approached various brokers and settled on one.
So let's stop here for a minute. Preparing to sell. Expand
Sure.
on that. What did you do to prepare to sell?
What I did to prepare to sell and what I would do now to prepare to sell are different things. I didn't get it terribly wrong, but I've just learned a lot from going through the process. What I did was I approached various brokers, and I'm very fortunate because the accountant who looked after the accounts for Beast Gear also has about 20 years mergers and acquisitions experience. And so, which is why I now partner with her in the business, but we'll talk about that later. So she was able to help me to understand what the business might be worth and the things that I needed to do to help make it more A, valuable, and B, sellable. So really dialing in on ad spend, reducing my costs, reducing my shipping fees, reducing my fulfillment fees by reducing packaging size, improving my storage efficiency to reduce storage costs, increase some prices and observe whether I can get away with it and don't see a dip in sales. All these things to boost profitability.
Mm-hmm.
I then approached various brokers and settled on one. And the process with them took longer than I would have liked due to various factors, including one calamitous error, which I picked up on and Alison, my accountant, fixed, which actually enabled me to negotiate down their commission because they hadn't done their job properly. The happy byproduct of this taking a little longer than I would have liked was that the whole time the business was just going strength to strength, growing and growing and growing really fast in 2019. The deal was done. Well, I received the letter of intent from the buyer in September 2019.
When
and
did
the deal
you list
was
it with the broker?
I contacted that broker in March. And the listing, and I hate the word listing because I don't believe businesses should be listed as such. The listing went live in early September, and I received the LOI late September.
Okay, so it didn't take very long.
No, the deal was done end of October, Halloween actually, and I learned a great deal from that experience. It was intense. The due diligence process is intense. I thought that the buyer was going to come around and scan my retinas. And quite rightly, it should have been intense, right? They're going to give you a lot of money for your business. They need to understand everything about it. They need to turn over every stone.
Now, did you get tied in? Was there an earnout, or was it, here's your check, goodbye?
I had an earnout. And here's what was great was I was able to negotiate to have my cake and eat it, because I said, right, I have a list as long as my arm of products I want to launch. And I have either started development for or can develop. And I know what I'm doing with this. So I negotiated a side deal where I would get a commission on the profits of those products. So therefore, I was also able, whilst we were negotiating the earnout, I knew that I would hit those, or the business would hit those earnout figures, because I knew the products that were coming in the pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
So that was great. And that's something that I help people to do now. Because one of the problems with an earnout is it's slightly odd how we talk about earnouts in e-commerce, because it's not how earnouts work in traditional businesses. You've given the business somebody else has got the keys to your business.
Mm-hmm.
And yet your earnout isn't really, you're not earning it because they're running your business, which is why it's really important that you sell your business to the right people who actually have the chops to run it. Because a lot of people have raised a lot of money in e-commerce, but they know diddly squat about how to run an e-commerce business.
Mm-hmm.
So, some people want an earnout because they can see where the business is going, and that's great. And some people want to get as much upfront as possible, and that's also great. It's all about what you want. It shouldn't be the other way around when you're negotiating.